Welcome to Snow Motion. Hi, I'm Brenda Buglione, standing at the top of Game Creek Bowl in Vail, Colorado. This area of the mountain has something for everyone in the family, from beginner to advanced terrain. We have a unique show for you today. We chose our favorite interviews, ski films, and ski tips. We hope you love our favorites. Stay tuned to Snow Motion.
Would it be easier if we had no shoes, no time to kill, and nothing to lose, and no worries but the great blue sky, and looking for shade when the sun gets high, or climbing up that coconut tree? If it's time for one of nature's treats, would it be easier?
It's a place where I feel at home. Every run is an adventure. Vail, it's like nothing on earth.
Snow Motion is brought to you by The New Mitch by Paul Mitchell. Style isn't born, it's groomed. And by Surefoot. Better fitting, better skiing. You don't get more passionate about the sport of skiing than Chris Anthony. He was my favorite chairlift interview this year. Let's take a look. Today's Snow Motion chairlift interview is with professional skier Chris Anthony. He's been the inspiration behind the movie Climb to Glory. Tell us about this movie.
Thanks, Brenda. Oh, I'm pretty fired up about this movie. This was a 5-year project that all came about with just my lack of knowledge about the men that came before us. And those were the 10th Mountain Division. They were part of the Greatest Generation, and they trained not too far away from here, about 30 miles away from here in the Pando Valley, an area that now is known as Camp Hale. And those men trained there for a couple of years between the years of like 1942 and 1944, before they were deployed into World War II and fought in Italy. And it was there that they achieved many great feats. They suffered a lot of losses, but what more inspiring even than that, what they did in the war, was when they returned back here to the United States post-war, is the impact that they had on the outdoor industry, particularly the ski industry. And right here, the Vail Mountains. I mean, Pete Seibert, one of basically the veterans of the 10th Mountain Division, was one of the co-founders, along with Bob Parker and several others, of Vail Mountain. Those guys were brought together for wartime means, which isn't the greatest reason to be brought together, but were the bonds that they created being here in the mountains, and because of the mountains, is what brought them all back together, and then even more so brought them back to the United States, and it gave them a goal to be very productive. And because of what they did, we have this today.
And if you ever are cold or you don't feel like you're tough, you got to watch this movie. These guys are tough.
Very, very tough. We actually, part of making the film was for myself and Tony Seibert, who's the grandson of Pete Seibert, as well as Scott Kennett, who's a descendant of one of the 10th Mountain vets, for all of us to go and actually get on the same gear as that they were on in 1941 to 1945.
To see this movie, to see you on the equipment that they used was just
embarrassing.
I'm like, okay, Chris can't do it. How did they do it? How did they do it?
I don't know. You look at the vintage films that these guys, of them skiing around on this equipment, up there, you know, ungroomed slopes, obviously, and they were just ripping around, and they were carrying their backpacks that were, you know, 90 pounds and above. And we actually had the backpacks on, but I had mine stuffed with pillows.
Chris, tell us about the different Warren Miller movies you've been in.
Wow, there's been, well, I just finished filming my 26th year with them. I don't know the name of that film as it's still in the works, but we just finished No Turning Back. That was so my 25th year. Their 65th year, if you can believe it or not. And we shot that segment in Alaska. I was with Ingrid Backstrom and Jess McMillan. Awesome segment.
Okay, tell the viewer what it's like to be in a Warren Miller movie.
Oh gosh, I grew up with the Warren Miller films. You know, I had the posters on my wall and idolized all the skiers in it. And my parents, I think, took me to the films when I was in a crib. They just rolled me in, and I was sitting there watching them, and I always dreamed of being in one.
Are you getting more 5th graders, 6th graders, 7th graders out on the slopes?
My goal is to inspire kids to be in the outdoors using the sport of skiing, and if we can roll some of them into this sport, I'd be absolutely delighted with that. But if anything, if we can just get them outdoors or just setting goals for themselves, you know, like explaining to them that if you set something out there, you can actually chase it down and do it. I mean, I don't know, I wasn't the greatest student, but I learned to set goals for myself, and it's worked. You know, it's taken me on a great journey. So I want to share that message. It's not all about the grades or the opening up the books and memorizing things. It's actually about setting a goal out and having something to chase after and be passionate about. And when the kid is passionate, when he's inspired, they start learning. They start learning a lot. So that's the goal of my youth initiative project, is to inspire and educate and entertain kids. And then now I actually have a scholarship program tied onto it. So those kids that aren't financially capable of maybe reaching those goals, I can you know, help financially get them there.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because you're a big kid. Chris Anthony's a big kid.
I love it. I love the sport. I love the outdoors, and you know, think about all our friends that are a part of it. You know, those that are here with us now, and those that have gone, as well as watching the up and coming. You know, got the World Championships happening in Colorado this year. It's so great to see kids that once were in the classroom that I was talking to, and now they're competing at a world-class level. And that's because they set goals for themselves.
Okay. You're setting the guideline and saying this is important for you, and you're an example, setting the goals and go out and reach them.
I think it's super important for kids to have something to aim for. Set that something up there, whether it's academics, arts, or athletics. They need something. They need to put something out there and fall in love with it and be passionate about it, and possibly maybe deviate to another direction that they fall in love with.
Well, we know about the goals with even all these top athletes that we are skiing with, and that we know to reach a gold medal in the Olympics, they need to train and have steps.
Absolutely. You know, Michaela Schifrin, you know, still basically, you know, 19 years old. She was in elementary school not too long ago, and look at what she's done by setting goals. Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go skiing. But first, clip your helmet, Chris.
I'll clip my helmet. You put your helmet on.
Oh, yeah, I will. I have it right here. Oops, wait. Here's my helmet. All right, we're going skiing with Chris Anthony. For more Snow Motion fun, log on to my website at snow-motion.com.
What we've done at Surefoot is really changed the way that you get ski boots.
The sun shines bright.
This boot is made for your foot. The difference is amazing. You'll ski better. They're better fitting, better skiing than anything you've ever experienced.
I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me. And life is good the way it should.
Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York. TripAdvisor not only has millions of real travelers' reviews and opinions, but checks hundreds of websites so people can get the best hotel prices. To plan, compare, and book the perfect trip, visit TripAdvisor.com today.
Vail and Beaver Creek were the host of the 2015 World Alpine Ski Championships. One of my favorite ski films of the year was Warren Miller's No Turning Back, which features Beaver Creek. Let's take a look.
They've been ski racing in the Vail Valley since 1962. They would have started earlier, but the lifts weren't built yet. In those days, all the really serious racers were in Europe, so Vail imported guys like 1960 Olympic champion Roger Staub from Switzerland. Where Staub was from, ski racing is king. And his adopted hometown learned to treat it the same way. But a funny thing happened over the next few decades. We took our lumps, figured this racing thing out, and eventually we got pretty good. Then we got really good.
Welcome everybody to the base of Beaver Creek, Colorado. What a weekend of racing action we have lined up for you. Chris Davenport alongside Doug Lewis. We'll be bringing you all the action. And Doug, new courses this year, new athletes, and all built up for the 2015 World Alpine Championships next year. This is big.
We really spend most of our season in Europe. You know, bouncing from France to Germany to Austria to Switzerland, and Beaver Creek is going to be awesome.
It's a good thing we can hold our own against the best in Europe now, because that's who's coming to Vail and Beaver Creek this winter. More than 700 of the best racers on the planet.
And slow free roll. Ski racing is probably one of the most historic sports on earth. And this place right here, Vail Beaver Creek, is steeped in history. 2 world championships and another one coming up.
Racing in Beaver Creek is challenging. It's one of our toughest races of the year, so nothing to lose.
At Beaver Creek, there's one great equalizer. From Olympic champions to first-timers on vacation, everyone gets a cookie. Everyone, that is, but the World Cup ski technicians.
Equipment is pretty much the most important thing when you're racing. All of your skis have to be dialed in, and not only do they have to be fast, but all the way into the boots. So I just work closely with my tech, and yeah, I just want to feel super comfortable when I'm standing in the start gate and know that I don't have to worry about anything else but hurling my body down the hill.
Downhill courses like Beaver Creek's Birds of Prey are just like F1 tracks. They each have their own personality, but they're only designed for one thing.
World Cup downhill and Super G, it's tricking your mind to like send yourself down there as fast as you can.
You really gotta look for every meter of top position.
If you're not on your game, then bad things can happen.
Racers have to be on it. You know, we have to be pretty focused on what we do. We have to be good at what we do to be able to not end up in the fences every week. A big fear factor for the racers and excitement for the fans who are watching.
First time was a little scary. About 18 years old. I couldn't even sleep that night because I was so petrified.
If I'm not scared, I'm kidding myself. When you're looking out of the start gate, you have to be ready to get it on.
To take the ultimate risk, you know, with big crashes and everything, to go fast.
In the Bible of U.S. ski racing, Tommy Moe begot Darren Rawls, and Rawls begot Ted Ligety.
A pretty intense feeling being in the start gate and, you know, knowing you have to push it to that level in order to be fast, but also, you know, wanting to have a little bit of a sense of self-preservation.
It's almost like tapping back into that childhood knowledge of the mountain and remembering that my feet will stay underneath me and letting everything else go. As a child, definitely looked up to Tamara McKinney.
I remember watching Franz Klammer and Phil Mayer, Ingemar Stenmark, and I just knew that I wanted to be a ski racer.
Mark Giardelli and Alberto Tomba, Tommy Moe, AJ Kitt, those were the guys who I thought were really cool growing up.
Peekaboo Street really motivated me to want to be an Olympian.
My dad, Pepe Stiegler, Olympic champion. These Vangen trophies and Kitzbühel trophies.
Beaver Creek set up their best terrain to be gnarlier than the one before. Our average speed in the World Cup is about 70 miles an hour. Guys have actually hit 100 miles an hour.
Breathe down those nerves. You can't worry about what place you're gonna get. You can't worry about the danger. You gotta worry about throwing it.
Those 30 seconds right before you push out of the start are the most important 30 seconds in your life.
Actually, the 30 seconds after you hit 70 miles per hour are pretty important too.
The most exciting story going forward is the young U.S. racer Mikaela Shiffrin.
She's from Eagle Vale and is such a natural athlete. She doesn't hold back, and for an 18-year-old, it's unbelievable.
Mikaela Shiffrin is just the latest U.S. racer to put the Europeans on notice and get the hometown fans jumping in Red Tail Stadium.
Bode Miller, no stranger to the podium here in Beaver Creek. He's won here many times.
But when he's in the race, people watch. And he's like, no one can send it on this hill like I can. Bode Miller is back.
Ted Ligety, Mr. GS, he's been on fire.
American fans of 44, see you next.
"52 years ago, Vail invited the Europeans to help them learn a thing or two about ski racing. This winter, all of Europe is invited once again, but this time, we're gonna show them how it's done.
Next to the Olympics, the World Championships are it. Fourth place is the same as last place, so everybody raises their game, the intensity's higher, and that's when the magic happens.
tuned. After the break, I'm going to give you one of my ski tips.
It's a place where I feel at home. Every run is an adventure. Vail, it's like nothing on earth.
What we've done at Surefoot is really changed the way that you get ski boots.
The sun shines bright.
This boot is made for your foot. The difference is amazing. You'll ski better. They're better fitting, better skiing than anything you've ever experienced.
I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me. And life is good the way it should.
In 2009, High Fives was formed to help athletes that have suffered a life-altering injury return to the sport they love.
He said, whatever you need, we'll help you make happen.
To become a member or to help support the cause, go to highfivesfoundation.org.
Snow Motion is brought to you by Vail, like nothing on earth. And by Bogner, the luxury of sport. Today's ski tip is about stance. How far should your skis really be apart? Well, it's based on the conditions that you're going to ski. When you're skiing the groomers or steeper terrain, you want your skis about hip width apart. You need to give yourself room so you can roll your edges over and carve your turns. If I was skiing the groomers with my skis close together, there's no room to get my downhill ski up on edge to carve. You have more weight on your downhill ski than your uphill ski. It's about 80% on the downhill ski, 20% on the uphill ski, or 70-30. But you need that power on that downhill ski to carve, so you need to roll it over. When you're skiing the powder, the bumps, the crud, you want your skis close together. You don't have to have room to put the ski up on edge because you're skiing with your skis close and as a unit. If you were skiing the powder and the bumps and you had all your weight on your downhill ski and no weight on your uphill ski, the uphill ski is easy to catch snow and make you fall. You want about 60% on your downhill ski, 40% on the weight on the uphill ski. You're pressing down into the turn and you release up with your skis together over the crud and the bumps and the powder and then back down. So remember, you adjust your stance with the conditions that you're going to ski. So if you're going to ski those steep groomers, you want to open up your stance so you can lay that edge over and carve your turns. If you're going to be in the bumps, the powder, the crud, you want to bring your stance close together so you can ski as one unit. One of my favorite athlete profiles of the year is with Sage Katzenberg. Let's learn more about this Olympic snowboarder.
Pretty much was raised in Park City, Utah, and I started skiing when I was 4, and then my brother actually was super not into skiing, and he was just like, screw this, going snowboarding, and I was just like, me too, you know, I'm over this. I'm doing whatever Blaze is doing, my brother. The Olympics came to Park City when I was in 3rd grade, so around when I was 8 or 9 years old. I was like, this is insane. I just got hooked on everything, like filming side of snowboarding, the competing side. It was just like everything. I wanted to do everything. 10 or 11, I started going to Wendell's and going to Mount Hood every year and High Cascade and all that. It was just like winter wonderland in summer, you know. It was just a bunch of kids shredding in summer. You know, you could wear t-shirts and it was just insane. So I've been back almost every single year since I was 10. First time I did good at Breck, I was 16, and it was the first Dew Tour of the year, and I ended up getting 2nd. And that was actually the start of the season where I won the Dew Cup, and I got invited to X Games that year and everything. It was just the sickest year. I would not be anywhere close to where I am today without my parents. They drove me and my friends a bunch of places for competing. They would fly back east to US Open. My mom went to Europe with me. We've been all over the place, and I really owe it all to them. To this day, I still just ride to have fun, and The Olympics is sick, and it's an awesome goal to go there, and it'd be sick to get a medal, but I think if you go there and you just have fun and soak in the whole experience of being at the Olympics, I think that's way sicker.
Thanks for watching Snow Motion. I hope we've inspired you to get out on the slopes. I'm Brenda Buglione, and we'll see you next time.
Would it be easier if we had no shoes, no time to kill, and nothing to lose, and no worries but the great blue sky, and looking for shade when the sun gets high, or climbing up that coconut tree. If it's time for one of nature's treats, would it be easy?